Drafting of pattern for baby chest cover. In the previous session, we constructed the pattern for the baby chest cover based on draft instructions. In this session, we will see how to draft the pattern for the baby chest cover on paper. Pattern drafting provides a basis to cut the fabric and thus helps to minimize errors and wastage of fabric. At the end of this session, you will be able to draft pattern for the baby chest cover on paper, cut paper pattern for the baby chest cover. Let's first familiarize with the tools and materials that you would need to draft the pattern for the baby chest cover. You will need scale or ruler, paper, pencil, and a pair of scissors. Now, let's see how to draft the pattern for the baby chest cover on paper based on the pattern constructed. We will first mark the total length and breadth of the baby chest cover. Mark a length of 14 inches vertically from one corner of the paper. Now, mark 23 inches horizontally. This will be the total width of the chest cover. From the 14-inch mark, mark 23 inches horizontally. Now join the marked points by drawing lines to make a rectangle as shown. Cut along the marked lines. We have marked and cut out the dimensions of the baby chest cover. Fold the paper lengthwise into two. We will now mark 0.25 inches for the overlap at the back opening. From the open end, mark 0.25 inches at both ends of the paper. Now, draw a line joining the 2 points. Now again fold the paper lengthwise such that the folded end touches the line drawn. We will now mark the armhole of the baby chest cover. Mark 1.5 inches horizontally from the folded end. Now, mark 3.5 inches vertically from the folded end. Now join the marked points to make a rectangle. Keeping the rectangle drawn as a base, join the 3.5-inch point and 1.5-inch point with a curve. While drawing the curve, ensure that the curve begins from one end of the side of the rectangle and ends at the center of the adjacent side as shown here. Next, we will mark the shoulder slope for the baby chest cover. Mark 1.5 inches from the other folded end towards the right. mark 0.25 inches vertically on the 3.5-inch line we had drawn earlier for the armhole. Now join the 2 points made. We will now mark the back neck of the baby chest cover on the other folded end of the paper. Mark 0.75 inches vertically from the folded end of the paper. Now join the 1.5-inch point made earlier with the 0.75-inch mark with the curve such that it extends to the lower layer of the paper. As you can see here, the back neck curve is flat. Next, we will mark the front neck of the baby chest cover. Mark 1.5 inches vertically from the folded end of the paper. Now, join the 1.5-inch point made earlier with the 1.5-inch mark with a curve. Ensure that this curve extends only up to the top layer of the paper. As you can see here, the front neck curve is more open. We have marked the armhole, shoulder slope, back neck and front neck for the baby chest cover on paper. We will now cut the pattern for the baby chest cover. Cut along the marked lines starting from the armhole. Next, cut the shoulder slope. Then, cut the back neck of the baby chest cover. As you can see here, start from the lower layer of the paper. We will now cut the front neck. For this, lift only the top layer of the paper and cut along the marked lines. This is how the pattern for the baby chest cover looks like when we unfold the paper. In this session, we have learned how to draft and cut pattern for a baby chest cover on paper. Before we conclude, let's take a look at the key steps involved in drafting and cutting the pattern for a baby chest cover on paper. Step 1. Mark and cut out the total length and breadth of the baby chest cover on paper. Step 2. Fold the paper lengthwise into two. Step 3. Again, fold the paper lengthwise into two after marking 0.25 inches for the overlap at the back opening. Step 4. Mark the armhole and shoulder slope of the baby chest cover. Step 5. Mark the back neck and the front neck. Step 6. Cut along the marked lines. While cutting the front neck, lift the top layer of the paper. With that, we have come to the end of this session.